The media plays a major and powerful role as a tool of communication in disseminating information to the masses through various forms, including mainstream, online, print, and digital media. It is through the media that the public becomes informed about economic, political, social, and developmental programs in the country. Apart from amplifying people's voices, the media also plays a critical role in ensuring accurate and truthful information, particularly for the marginalized, poor, and rich alike. Although the media is an arm of government, some media outlets and personnel have done more harm than good. With Uganda in a political season, the media's role in reporting accurately becomes a contributing factor.
And what does this mean to have a balance when it comes to voices in elections? She has mentioned two things, negative reporting and stereotypes.
There has been a trend over time where certain groups of people, particularly female politicians, have been underreported or unrecognized in news coverage.
Actually, the Electoral Commission says we're 53%, and the men are only 49%. Uganda is only a signatory to a number of gender equality and women empowerment laws and policies. This underrepresentation not only limits women's voices and perspectives in policy formulations, but also undermines the democratic principles of equal representation.
The occupation, of course, looking at women and men in the occupation of politics, there were only 21% the women and the men 79%.
In response to this issue, the Uganda Media Women's Association, UMWA, in conjunction with the Danish Embassy and other stakeholders, has convened an engagement that includes media personnel, lawyers, policymakers, and politicians. The event, dubbed Media and Elections 2026, aims to strengthen the responsiveness of the media towards gender equity and inclusion. During the dialogue, stakeholders highlighted some of the issues hindering women politicians from being well represented in the media.
It's to do with the media, and maybe it's because I am a media personality, but there are many other female politicians who would have so much to say, but they're afraid to say it. So much to say, but they don't know how to say it. So much to say, but the media probably considers their viewpoint as being weak or boring, or not as sensational, or not as exciting, or not as controversial to generate talkability, to generate likes, to generate following, and there's a problem there.
I saw her on NBS TV. After the show, I called her that as you head to town, pass by Radio Simba, we do an interview on why you are failing to field women as if they are not capable women there. She gave me an excuse, I have a meeting at Hotel Africana, when I get done I'll call you. That is one of them. The others will always tell you evening time is time for children, I can't, I have to cook food, they won't show up. So the women have excuses.
It's not that women, that I don't want to speak. It's most of the times is the short notice. Yes. And we know as a woman, like explained before, my children, my husband, the time to be home and all that. So you want me on short notice like a man, you compare me with a man who will run. So I think we need affirmative action.
It is tough for people who are behind the scenes. It is tough to get one on these spaces.
To being friendly with the media, but also women leaders, women politicians have a fear of spending on the media because they think that any time a media personality is going to have a recorder on you, a camera on you, you've got to part with some amount of money, which sometimes is actually not true. So I think all of us, it should be our responsibility to make women politicians understand that it is important to be in the media.
Being a politician is one, but being an informed politician is another. Yeah. So Joyce will testify. You know, somebody will not be confident to talk about an issue where maybe she has not read. Then secondly, the other thing is that I was going to make it in my presentation, but you know, when the people come, the news guys come to you, you can make sense. You can say something substantive, maybe on issues of the economy, on the issues of the budget, but they always go behind and look for something about disability.
These discussions reflect the challenges that both the media and female politicians face in their interactions. The question, however, remains, what can be done to ensure that women politicians are well represented in the media?
Accept that excuse, shall we? Then what do we do? Let me speak to another.
What I'm trying to say is that it is going to be a long journey, but it means that both of us, the women leaders or women in general, we have to be available to up our game in trying to use the media. But it is so more critical for the media because they are obligated to bring everybody on board.
But of course, being a woman, you don't run away from the stereotypes, from the challenges that come with being a woman as a leader. Either they accuse you of being too emotional, or being too much like a man, or of being too emotional. But you see, some of these things are because we are women. Exactly. But the point is that when we are given opportunity to perform, do we perform? So we must perform. And we've proven that some perform, some don't, just like men.
We have realized is that both the media and the women leaders or politicians have to change their mindset. They need to remember that the way we behave comes from the socialization process informed by culture, which favors men over women. Meaning that if we have to have a gender responsive story, we need to start living the lives of the marginalized people and become more creative as journalists, to do something, etc., to have those stories.
Answers which I talked about. So how do you gather women to know government programs that will empower them financially? How will you start small groups in your village, cause an influence that runs up to the national level? That is what you should be thinking about. How are you going to influence the health center to see that the number of women who are dying during childbirth from your health center have reduced? How are you going to lobby government to get drugs into your small health center to deal with the question of child mortality? That should be your agenda. It's a national agenda. So there is a problem and you are coming in to help to resolve the problem and keep consistent. Be very consistent.
I wake up with a lot of courage to face another day with a lot of positivity. But that positivity is not just for me. Because for me, I am already strong. I already have a strong, thick skin. I have had a bashing, I've had the attacks, the cyberbullying, and right now it can't affect me. But why I wake up with a lot of courage, with a lot of energy, with a lot of positivity is because I want to inspire other girls, young women, and other women politicians to do the same.
Naguja Serena for NSTV.